I'm like, man, I forgot how to put all this together. It's been so long. What's going on, guys? What up? What up? What up? What's up, Jumper? Welcome to the stream. What's going on, guys? All right, who's here? Let's get this show on the road. A little bit more down. You're all right. Let's start this party. So, guys, welcome, welcome. Um, Welcome to the Vice Traders Academy's daily market breakdown. You know, it's been a while for me. It's been a week and change. Shout out to Mr. Jumper for holding us down last week. You know, it was a very, very busy week for me. So I had to do a couple of other things, but everything is getting back to normal. Still a little busy, but getting back to normal. So let's start this party, right? So let's talk a little bit about what we do here. So again, welcome to the Vice Traders Academy's daily market breakdown. In this class, what we do is we break down those 9 pairs that you see on your right hand side. What we do is we looking for a setup, right? We're looking for price to set up. Well, technically, we are breaking down price action and market structure to look for a potential POI, point of interest, right? And that's where we expecting price to react from in the New York session, early New York session, end of London session, usage. Um, and we set up points of interest, which are alerts. And when price touches these targets, we analyze and make sure that everything is intact when it comes to our entry criteria, and we take an entry, right? But in order to benefit from this class, guys, there's another 2 other live streams that we do. We do a weekly market breakdown, which we break down those 9 pairs and which ones to look for during the week, right? And that happens on Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern, New York Standard. This daily market breakdown, obviously Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then we also have a live trading room where these setups, these points of interest, once it gets touched, is where we take the entries. And that's Monday through Friday. And it starts at 6 a.m. New York Eastern. And make sure you join the Discord so you can benefit from all this. It's free, and the links are posted there daily. So make sure you to join. And let's get the show on the road. Mr. Jumper, please timestamp, sir. Oh, why does my nose itch? So let's start this party. So let's start with AU. Quick little top to bottom, right? AU, we are A2 on the way down. You know, previously, 2 weeks ago, finished 3 weeks of rise. So after 3 weeks of rise, the market must chop or drop. And last week we had I'm sorry, this is the month. Before this month, 2 months ago, we had 3 months of rise. Last month, January, we were expecting price to chop or drop and actually drop to continue the trend. As you can see, we made another lower high, right? To continue the party. So on a higher time frame, we can see that it's what our overall A2 bias. When we go, sorry guys, when we go to the 4 hour time frame, which is what's happening during the week. Last week we had a week of drop. Prior week to that, we had a week of rise. Technically, this is like a rise no net type situation. But prior to that, we had 3 weeks of drop, right? So if we're looking at just the market structure that's here, and we are put it on the 4, we can see how we had a change of character, right? And we had a break of structure, and right now we just had our second break of structure, which is to continue the trend, right? So everything right now looks so good, right? So we know that the trend is down on the 4 hour, right? On the higher time frame, we know the trend is down. Lower time frame, we switch back to the trend to go down. We can see it based on just regular market structure. To update this. if we look what we were expecting here, what we expecting here in a lower time frame will be higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, right? So we had to change a character even on the 30, right? When it comes to this portion right here. This portion right here, we got exactly what we needed to continue to go down, right? The price came back up. We had another change here, boom, retest, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and we over here right now on the 30, right? So today we had a day of drop. So now we had 2 days of drop. So what's today? Today should be the third day of drop. What do I like about the way this second day ended, right? It went down, pushed back up. So it's given us some room to book a profit. We have 10 pips. Right now, we want price to pull back a little bit more before it continues to drop to give us, more room, right, to book a profit. So let's put together our game plan. So what high do I want it to retest? Up here. What do I want it to break? Down here. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Right? I'm not expecting price to go all the way back up here. Why? We have 2 days of drop, so we're expecting a third day of drop right now. So just so we're clear. Can price move more up? Yeah, probably could come over here, fill in this FEG or order block or whatever you want to call them, right? Or, it broke, retest up here before the continuation. So this would be the game plan for today, guys. All right. So let's make this Nipsey blue because we got a 372. And let's move on to EURCAD. So let's start from the top again. So EURCAD, looking at the overall structure, we're in V1, right? The market is pulling back, right? We can see that the market is pulling back, right? The low of consolidation is down here. So any trades at this low is a good trade to be taken, right? But we're right by the 800, and we know what usually happens about the 800, right? So we can put that into the mix. Now, we had prior weeks, right? Previous 3 weeks, we had 3 weeks of drop, right? So after 3 weeks of drop, the market must chop or rise. One of the things to notice is the third week we had a variation. We had a drop no net, right? So no net means reset. What does that mean by a reset? It means price now could do whatever it wants. Could go up, could go down, or could no net, right? So that reset is something I do not enjoy when I see. But doesn't mean that it's going to stop us from trading. It just means that, the confirmation of, let's just wait, let's just take it from the lows, becomes a little bit challenging because you don't want to take it off the low expecting it to go up, knowing that it could continue to drop, right? Because we have a no net, which is a reset, right? So we understand it's the rules of engagement. So yesterday we had a day of rise, right? So we whipped the trend. Now we have a consolidation zone here, right? Well, let's go back to the 4 real quick. Let's look at the 4 market structure, right? Because the 4-hour market structure is something that in 2023 I want to start paying close attention, because this is the structure that really gives us our daily perspective, right? Of what should we be looking for the daily move, right? Which will be the 4-hour, because this structure is the current structure that holds more weight in a shortened time frame than the overall daily. So I want to make that clear. So with this structure that's happening now, we can see that we've been having, price move to the top and move to the bottom, right? We had a change of character here to the top, right? And right now we're waiting for price to break above here, right? This is the overall structure that's happening here, right? But we also have the mini structure, right? So let's not just pay attention to this. Let's pay attention to this structure that's here, right? So I'm just going to mark it. So over here we had a what? We had a BOS. Here we had a BOS. Then here what we have? We had a small change, right? So right now price changed to the bottom, right? So let me know that price changed to the bottom with the 3 weeks of drop, no net, right? So that means that we had a change of character in this small structure, right? But the overall 4-hour structure we still pushing up, right? It's still moving up. What I mean by that is if you're looking at everything that happened along these lines, we had a change, we had a break, we had a break, right? Then we had a change to the top, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower equal high, lower low, right? So we had to change to the bottom, right? So this is the zone was here. This is the high of the zone, the bottom of the zone. Everything else is internal. Then we had to change back to the top, right? And what was the push that caused that change? Was here, right? So right now, what can we see? Right now, we were in between this zone and this zone. So this was the high, this was the low, and right now we broke that low, right? So you can see that. Uh-oh. So now that I understand all that, right? What is the safest thing to do? We're stuck in a consolidation zone here, right? Price is consolidating, right? In this consolidation, we have a high and we have a low, right? If we're trading, what we're taught in every textbook is in a consolidation, in a ranging market, anything that touches the low, you go up. Every time it touches the low, you trade up. Touches the low, you trade up. Touches the low, you trade up. Right? And you also taught that at the top, when it touches the top, you trade down. Touches the top, you trade down. Right? So we're waiting for price to touch the top, right? To trade down. That's what we're waiting for? Hell no. We in V1 looking for price to go up. Right? So knowing that price when it touches here, there is a possibility, there is a numerical probability that price can come up and come back down, right? So start to come down again before touching here, come back up, right? So with that being said, what is it that we need to look for in order to take this to the long side, right? There's a couple things, right? The first thing is if I'm going to go long, right, I can wait for today to finish. What I mean by that, today to finish and to finish with a rise. If it finished with a rise, what do we have? 2 days of rise, we know what the third day is going to give us, a rise with the trend. That's one option, right? Second option is we need to wait for price to break the high, the top of the consolidation, retest, right? Find my entry to continue long, right? So these are the things. So we could combine those two together, meaning today will be a day of rise, tomorrow will be a rise, right? Price will pull back a little bit, wait for the price to pull back the following day to give us that same rise, right? To give us our 372. So there's a couple things, foreseeing what the movement could be, right? So today, since we're literally like a little bit above or stuck in the middle of this consolidation, or close to the middle, right? Price could chop today, then tomorrow could rise, meaning the next day, right? Or it could drop back to here before they can continue, right? So there's a couple things. So for me to play it safe, what is the best option? The best option is to wait for the break of the consolidation, right? Or if price comes back down to the low, I could trade off the lows back to the top, right? So with that said, let's make it happen. So if I'm trading off the lows, I want price to come back around here for me to take a long, right? I'm not expecting that though. I'm expecting price to break above these highs. So I want price to break above, clean break above these highs for me to take this entry. Uh-oh, my iPad got 5% battery. That's not good. All right, so that's the play. Gangrene. EURUSD. Start from the top. Let's take a look. We in V1. What's the overall direction? Up, right? What I can see is we had a previous month of drop, but prior to that, we had 2 months of rise, right? So after 2 months of rise, the market must drop, right? So now, what's next? Today, this month, price could go up, could go down, or could consolidate, right? So we know that just off the month, what the month holds in store. Now, when we're looking at the weeks, we had a previous 3 weeks of drop. So that's letting me know that this week is not going to be a drop. This week, I should be looking for price to start pushing up, right? Or to know that, right? So let's do something real quick, right? Just so we're clear. This is the first candle. What day is this? Fifth. My days looks off, right? Because the first candle was this one. Why is it here? Right? That's off. I need to fix this. What candle is this? 29. Yeah, these candles are off, bro. These time separators are off. Is this one? Yep. Select week Tuesday. No, Monday. Here we go. Uh-oh. Where did it go? Oh man. Is it this one? No, it's not down. Where did it go? Don't tell me I fucked it up on all charts. Oh man. Yo, I don't even remember the name of the indicator. It's this one. Click the crosses. I don't know, bro. Damn, man, I gotta fix this too. I can't just now fix this. This is the daily chart one, right? Okay. This is the daily chart. This is that's the 30-minute chart. Let me see. Can I do 4 hours? No. YMDW. I'm sorry guys, but I have to do this. Let me see this other one. 1700, and it's the fourth one. 1700. 17. Fourth one. Do it again. Sorry. The dot. Alright, that's it right there. Pretty fast. Sorry about that. So, alright, so what I want to do is, since I understand that we're supposed to have a no net week, right? I mean, a no net or a rise. Let's mark out where price should end up at. So price should end here, worst case scenario, right? For the week. Right? I'm going to make this yellow. Right? This is what a no net week would look like. So if I get a no net week, I could go for the low and come back and the week here, right? That will still be creating the overall lower low, lower high structure that it's making right now. We'll continue to make that, right? Or price could at any time could start pushing up and break this high, right? So I just want to make sure that we have some targets, some form of understanding of what the price action should look like and what price should be doing. Because we're not expecting it for the price to end lower than where it started. We're expecting price to end where it began for the week or higher, right? So we know that this is where it began. This is the candle. So it needs to end here or higher, touching this yellow or higher. So let's get this party started. So now we understand that. Let's go to our 30. Let's take a look at our 30-minute structure. So the 30 gave us what? We have a previous 2 days of drop. Perfect. So today's expectation, right? This is Mr. Lewis's favorite trade. This is a 372 counter. So what are the rules of engagement for a 372 counter? We need the daily low to be set and then the reversal. You need to wait. This is not a trade that I'm going to take going short. This is a trade I'm going to wait for price to make a new low. Number one. Number two is show me an anchor, right? Number three is show me a change of character, lower time frame, and a break of structure in the lower time frame. These are my rules of engagement. So let's draw it out real quick, right? Boom. Where are we right now? We're here. What I need, step one was what? I need it to do what? Make a new low. Once it makes a new low, the next thing I need to see an anchor, right? Could be equal, less, more. Next thing I need, change of character. Next thing I need, break a structure. Following thing, I need that retest for my entry, right? So the first thing up, new low. Second thing, change of character. Third thing, break the structure, retest. It's that simple, yo. I don't know what else. I don't know how else I can explain it. This is all I'm looking for. And that's going to give me what? Going to give me the daily low, a new low for the day, right? Which needs to happen to make this 372 possible, right? Needs that. And then the next thing is for price to start pushing up. Does that mean that price is going to give us all that today? Maybe not, right? Price could just continue to go and just stop there. And then the next day push up and give me an anchor and then start pushing, right? But just they could do it today too. So we'll get to gold, Antonio. Gold is in here. So With that being said, this is a pair that I just need to be watching. Why? Because there's no set target for a new low, right? I can put the price needs to break down here, but I'm just gonna pop in and watch this, and I understand that it's a 372 setup. GJ, start from the top. GJ, overall, I'm in peak formation high, right? I'm not expecting this to continue to go. I also see that we are stuck in a consolidation zone, but I also noticed that we're making new highs this whole time, right? And we got an equal high, but price was doing this, right? So with that being said, this is a place that I don't trade. I need to see a clear trade, bro, like super crystal clear. Anything else, I'm just being part of collection. Weekly wise, price just consolidated last week. Daily wise, they just gave us our third day of rise. Did they give us a third day of rise? No. Why? There was a gap, right? So we got it down. So GJ is something I'm not trading. There's no good market structure here for me to be trading, right? Some people may say, well, that's not true, because if you look at the 4 hour here, you just look at that portion of the 4 hour, right? Just this little bit, right? We're trading in between this zone and this zone. Yes, we are, right? Maybe if it changes on the 4, maybe we could start talking. But right now, anything could go. Right now, we're in the middle of this high and this low of the 4 hour. So it's not really a place I like to trade, right? There's no clear structure. So GJ, I'm passing. GU, we in V1 heading up, right? Just looking at what happened last month was a no net. We were right on the 800. Price just kept rejecting from the 800, pushing up, pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. You know, the beginning of the week, it just, broke the 800. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at the 4. The 4 last week gave us a drop, right? Price dropped, right? Beginning of the week, we're at the 800 of the 4 hour, right? Have we broken the 800 of the 4 hour? Not yet, right? This is a break. This is the candle that lets us know what's happening. The candle is still within, right? So not a clear break. Price could just bounce off. Looking at the 4 hour structure, right? We still showing uptrend structure on the 4. What I mean by that is if we just look at the 4 hour structure, we're trading between here and here on 4, right? So we still between the lines. We haven't broke out of it. This consolidation, we're still between the high and this low, right? So we still within the structure. I don't know, I just got a beep. Who was that? I don't know what that was. So, that's where we are right now. So let's drop down to the 30. So we're looking for price to push up. Let's look at a 30 structure. We got 2 days of drop. Perfect. We got a 372 counter today. Same setup as EURUSD. We just need to watch it. Right? EURUSD got a 372 counter, right? 372 counter. We just need to watch it. And the same steps goes. First step 1, right? For me to recognize what I need to be looking for. What is my trade setup? What are my rules of engagement when it comes to taking this 372 counter? First thing is, I need to make a new low. Second thing is, I need to see an anchor, right? Third thing is, I need to see a change of character. Fourth thing is, I need to see a break of structure retest. It's that simple, right? There are other things that you may want to add to it, like did they sweep the lows? Did they supermarket sweep them, right? Engulfing candle, right? There's other things to add. I'm just giving you a preliminary check down. You want to learn more? Make sure to join the Discord. That's all I can tell you. It's free. Link in the description. Mr. Jumper posted in the link. Post the link in the chat. So just in case, if you can. But that's the play. USDCAD. I like USDCAD. This is what I've been trading the past month. Just the structure just looks so beautiful. We have V2 on the way up, right? We can tell we're in the bottom consolidation. Price hit the 800, bounce off, gave us a month of rise. When we look at the 4 hour, we had 3 weeks of rise, no net, drop, rise, right? So when we're looking at just market structure of the 4, it looks beautiful. Right? Market structure looks beautiful. Right? We had all this. When we do swap, we had to change the character to the downside. Look how many changes we have. A whole bunch. What's going on here? We're missing stuff. We're missing some stuff here. I kind of like it like that. That, right? Then we had to change the character to the bottom. Then we had to change the character to the top. Then we had to break the structure to the top. Right? Then we were trading between this high and this low. Then we had to change the character to the bottom. Break a structure here. Right? To go. And now we're dealing with either, just so you guys know, price could either break the structure at the bottom to continue going low. Let's get it in, please. Oh, damn. Right, and continue that downtrend movement. Right, I'm going to draw it out for you guys, so you guys can understand what I mean. Or price could change. Could change to the top side. Right, we're trading between here. Price can either break this structure, meaning, let's get this pen. Price could come here, break, continue, right? Or price, like it's doing now, go to the top, change, and continue the uptrend. Right? These are the two possibilities. These are the two zones. This is why this is a key level. This is a key level, right? Another key level would be here. This would be another key level, right? So these are a higher time frame key level, lower time frame key levels. These are your key levels where price, where price will be using to make full, higher time frame structure. So price will break above here. If it breaks above here, the next break will be above here, right? If it breaks above this level and breaks above this chalk, what happened? Price will have changed character to continue the uptrend, right? So if this is the other key level, price breaks below here and starts here and then break below this other key level, what we have a break of structure for a continuation to the downside. This is why these zones are important. We mark them as zones. We don't call them key levels, right? Not in this group. We mark them as zones. Right? What I mean by that is, here are our zones. So we're trading between this high and this low. And if it breaks above this high, we change characters back to the top side. If it breaks below this low, we're continuing the downtrend with another break of structure. It's that simple, guys. So let's do this real quick. Let's update this. Right, we have a pullback. After a run, we have a pullback, right? So let's drop to the 30. Let me show you guys my 30. We got a 2 days of rise, so you know what today is, right? But my 30-minute market structure is what we have, right? So same thing we do on the 4, we do on the 30, right? Nothing has changed, right? So we have this back to the top. That was the sweep I was waiting for to sweep to come up, and it did sweep to go up, right? So we have this sweep. price. Came. Swept down here. Came up. Came back down. Right? Gave me an anchor. What is this anchor? This is anchor. Second leg higher than the first leg. Right? Very simple. Good morning. Can we take a look at GBPUSD? I think that's next. Well, I think we just did. Right? And then we're waiting for price to break above here to continue the trend. That's what we're waiting for right now. We want this breaker structure on the 30-minute time frame. Let me take out this 4 so you don't get confused. Right? So for you guys that are confused, they may say, well, it changed to the bottom. It did not. Why? Because we're trading zones, guys. We're trading key levels, right? If you use key levels, here's the high and here's the low. Anything that happens in between here is part of the internal structure, right? So these are the zones. If we had a change, the change of character will happen down here, right? If we have a break of structure, price needs to break above here for a break of structure for the continuation. Anything that happens in between is just part of the internal structure to all this move, this price action, right? Just want you guys just to kind of understand, right? We had a change, right? Everything that's happening between here, there was no change in character coming back down. Why? Because this is the high and this is the low. We already did go back a bit. You will see it. Sean, I'll go through it a little bit. I'll go through it again, man. You're a new listener. I'll go through it again. I think that was the last one we did. I'm not sure, but I think that was it. But I'll go through it again just for you. So again, guys, so back over here, just focus on this real quick. So up here will be the break instruction in the 30. Down here will be the change of character in the 30. So what we expect in price, we want price to break above the high of the 4-hour zone, which causes the price to change back to the top side, right? So now just think about the alignment process. Remember, when you trade multiple time frames, when you're trading internal structures and external structure, you have to keep in mind that these are like gears, right? So if we have the 30-minute going up, we already know the 5 is up. So we have the 5 up, we have the 30. If it breaks the structure, we have it up. In order for all this to align with the 4-hour, we need the 4 to change characters to the top side again. So then we'll have the 5 going up, the 30 going up, the 4-hour going up, and the 1-hour soon will be back to the top side. Why? Because it will cause a change of character in this consolidation, the second sort of consolidation. So I want you guys to put that all together, right? This is why you do a top to bottom analysis. You want to see what direction the higher time frames are. Where can you confirm that the higher time frame switch direction, whether it's going up or whether it's going down? We already marked that. These are these key levels, these key zones, right? We'll know if it continues to go up. If it changes to the top, it needs to change over here, right? If it's going to continue going down, it needs to break this structure to continue going down. Right now we're trading in between this high, this key level high, this key level low, right, in the 4-hour time frame. Now when we chop it down into how you eat a pizza pie, one slice at a time. So let's take this down to a slice, right? What is the slice of this 4-hour? Is this 30-minute. So here's the top of the 30-minute, here's the bottom of the 30-minute. If price breaks above this break of structure on the 30-minute, we have a higher probability that price will continue to go up and break out of that that top of that 4-hour zone to cause a change of character. We have a high probability, right? So These are the things that we're taking into consideration. The other thing is we have a 2 day of rise. So we know for a fact that today we're going to break this breaker structure to the top side of the 30-minute chart. We already know that, right? It's already a known fact. Why? We have no gaps, right? Everything looks clean, right? So we already know that. We know we're going to break structure on the 30-minute to the top side. That's a gimme, right? But that doesn't mean that we're breaking structure on the 4 hour. We need to wait for price to break out of here. But the ADR, the high of the day, will be up here anyway. So we wouldn't even get to break it today. We will get close to it, right? And then what will happen the next day? The next day will be the decided. We know that the next day we're not pushing up, right? We're not pushing up. We have to think logically about market structure. So if today we get all this, right? We already here. The next day we get an up. That's 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must do what? Chop or drop. What will be the smartest thing for price to do? To pull back. Why? Again, we need to be making market structure, right? Overall, this is what we want to see happen. So we had 3 days of rise. The next day, the market will do what? It could chop, but if it chops, is it creating market structure? Right? You guys understand the trend is your friend. What does an uptrend looks like? What's the market structure for an uptrend? Higher high, higher low. So if this is a higher high, the next part of the sequence that the price needs to make is what? A higher low. And in order to make a higher low, the price needs to do what? It needs to go down. So if it gave us 3 days of rise, the next day, what I would want to see happen will be a drop. Why a drop? For it to start creating market structure. Then the following day, maybe consolidate and start to rise. So it could give me another 2 days and give me the last third day on Friday, right? And start to create that uptrend movement, which is what we need to see, which is this. This is what we want to see. So I hope that makes sense, guys. This is how you start to project market structure and start to use what they're giving you for you to be able to make these projections and capitalize off understanding what's next, right? You don't get paid on what you saw in the past. You get paid on to be able to kind of like project the future and predict the future. And the way you predict the future is understanding the way that they move, right? What I mean by that, if you understand market structure, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, if you see this, what is the next part of the sequence? Next part of the sequence will be what? To make a higher low. After they make a higher low, what's the next part of the sequence? They want to make a higher high, right? You have to understand these things, guys. These are the things that you guys have to get good at. It's not about taking an entry. You may think, oh, I gotta take an entry. It's all about entry. It's not about entry. You're not gonna get a good entry if you don't understand market structure. If you don't understand price action. Market structure and price action is the same shit, different toilet. So you have to understand how they're making these structures happen. How you eat a pizza pie, one slice at a time. How are they slicing this up? Well, day 1, day 2, day 3, right? Day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, day 9, day 10, day 11, right? One day at a time. Day 1, day 2. These are day separators. All this separates days. So just think about that, right? Sometimes they make it bigger. Sometimes they make it smaller. Just think about it here. We had a day of rise, a day of rise, a day of rise, and what they do, they pull back. They could have pulled back to continue, but what they did a deeper pullback, right? And if you add a fib from here to here, you had a 61.8 pullback, right? Because again, you have to use all the tools. You have to understand how they're doing this shit, right? This is clockwork for them. But once you fucking get it, yo, this is what I say. Once you guys really, really, really get it, oh man, the world is yours, man. I keep telling you guys, it's fucking yours. Because you understand the game. This is a game. This is your opponent. It's the market. You have to understand the way your opponent that you're defending. If you're playing defense, in basketball, or you are a safety and you playing defense versus a receiver, you need to understand whoever you're defending, what tricks they got up there in their bag. Like, how do they dribble the ball? What type of shimmies they do? What type of in and out crossovers do they always do behind the back? How's their footwork, right? This is the footwork. You have to understand their footwork. If you play soccer, you're not looking at their, what is it? You look at their hips or you look at their feet. I don't remember. But you need to know exactly what to look at so you know you don't get faked out. And these are the things that you look at in this sport that we call trading, right? So don't harp on that, gentlemen. Just know today what's the expectation and understand the way that they're making this move on a daily basis. This is why marking your 30-minute chart with day, whether it's a rise or whether it's a no net, whether it's a drop, that will start the mental preparedness for you to see, okay, whoa, did 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, they chopped. Right? Then the next day they continue to rise. And then the following day continue to rise. And the following day continue to rise. Right? If I draw out that structure, what does that structure look like? Right? If they rose one day, they rose the second day, they rose the third day. The next day, what they did, they consolidated. Then the following day, let's say they dropped. Then the next day, they rose. Then the next day, they rose. Then the next day, they rose. When I look at the structure, what does the structure look like? It looks like the same shit I have in my notebook. Higher, high, higher, low. That's how they're making it, right? But this is a textbook way of seeing things, and reality is totally different, right? Reality is this. This is reality. This is a textbook way. So understand there's a variation to the theme. The theme is higher, high, higher, low. The variations come different ways, right? So that's enough. So now let's take a look at what we're doing here. Where are our point of interest? So our POI, we want price to pull back into this area and obviously to break this high, right? What I don't like about the third day, right, Mr. Muhammad, and you know, look at the way the third day ended. It ended at the top, right? This is not my favorite way of ending the third day. I mean the second day, sorry. I want the second day. If it gave me a day one rise, it gives me a day two rise. I want the day for it to make that rise, but to give me a pullback. Why I want that pullback? Because as a day trader, I know that they're going to break this high, right? The further they pull back down, the more pips I have in the bag. If this is a 20 pip pullback, I understand already that before they move up, before they make a high, they have to go up 20 pips. So at $1 lot, 20 pips, that's $200. I understand I'm going to make $200 just for them to break the high. This is why, right? Now we're adding trading into it and money into it. So if price came up here and ended like this, like it did right here, we at least have this much room before they make a high. But the fact that they ended up here, look, they just pushed it down and they just made a new high with one fucking pip, which is whack. That's why I don't like those, right? It doesn't really give you room to book a profit, right? It makes the trade a little bit more difficult because right now, if we're looking for, if we're looking for a 372, did they make a 372? Yes, they did. Why? Because the 372 is 3 days of new highs and already made a new high. This broke yesterday's high already. It closed higher than it closed any other day. Forget about the wick, candle closures. It closed higher than it did the previous day. So technically, is the 372 already done? Absolutely. Technically, it's already done. Now, right, it makes the trade a little bit more difficult because now you're risking more, right? Now you're risking because if your rule is that and it already did the rule, what else is there to talk about? There's nothing else to talk about, right? But price can still pull back and continue. Now, why did it just do this? Because we have the top, right? So what are traders doing? Remember what I said, a couple of pairs back. In a consolidation zone, what do they teach you? They teach you that when it hits the tops, where do you trade? You trade down every time. And when it hits the lows of consolidation, what you do? You trade up, right? So how many people? So this hit, this hit, this hit, and now seeing this hit and thinking short. A lot of people, right? A lot of people saying, well, this is M formation. It's going to go down. Have people thinking that, right? Because, with all due respect, no shade at nobody. That's what they're showing you. That's what they taught you. That's what you're going to trade, right? So they making it that way, right? For us, they fucking us up to the people who know what we know, right? Because if we are, if we're people who stick to the rules and, you know, don't think about the exception, right? Or the variation of the rule, you will say, well, this trade is done. I'm not looking at this. But a more experienced trader will say, well, it did that. I understand why they did it there because we are at the top of the zone. We understand that at the top of the zone, people are taking shorts. So they have to show shorts in order for them to go long, right? They have to accumulate. That's why it's a small consolidation zone up here. They have to accumulate contracts, right? Which also means accumulation. Next thing they need to do is what? Manipulate. And then the last thing is distribute. So if I understand that as well and adding this to the actual play that they're doing today, you get it, bro. You get it. Not only do you get it, you can see the structure. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, and then higher high, right? But overall, was still, what are they doing? Uptrend structures, right? So understand how they're manipulating, how they're getting people to bite, right? How they get people to think long, oh, let's come back, no, let's continue. Price action is a very to me is the life of this shit, bro. There's so much other things people could teach you, but if you don't understand these price action, bro, you don't have an edge in the market because you're not understanding the story that they're putting together for us. So with that being said, we already got that set. I ranted a lot about this pair. Mr. Sean, are you still in here? If you still in here, put a yes. If this is a yes, I go back to GU. If not, I will continue. So put a yes, and I'll go back. So US30. I give you 30. I give you 15 seconds to put a Y. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Sean. So I give you 15 seconds, bro. If you're not in this no more, just go back, watch GU, and if you have any questions, join the Discord. I'll make sure to answer your question. So, guys, here's what I said. 2 weeks ago? Because last week I didn't trade, right? I told you guys what was my projections for US30, right? I drew this all for you, right? I told you that I'm looking for price to either come to the low and this ugly guy to bring it back to the low, and this is a place where, yes, I'll take a trade. Anything in the middle is a no trade zone for me. Once price breaks out and retests, yes, we're back in yeses. So we had a no zone, we had a yes zone, and we had another yes zone. And what happened with price, right? We were here. That day we were here. Did price come to the low? No. So there was no trade for me. It gave me a continuation, right? Then price actually broke out. Did we get a yes? We got a yes here, right? For an advanced trader. But for where you're looking for just this move right here, this price to break out and come back, right? Price did that. Price broke out, gave us, just think about it. Once price broke out of here, you were home free on this day, bro. You got a nice consolidation, manipulation, distribution. Third day of rise. Perfect. You got a third day of rise. You can't even complain about that, right? You can't even complain. You got a third day of rise, boss. Then price gave you exactly the structure you need to see at a higher time frame. Price broke, came back, retest where it needs to break, and then did what? Gave you a supermarket sweep 'em, gave you an anchor that week, right? Because this was the week. This is the whole week right here, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Wednesday came, anchor. Thursday, retest the sweep and pull the fuck out of there, bro. You got exactly what you needed on a Thursday. So you got to trade on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right? The next day you knew not to take it long because you had a 3 days of rise. Next day the market must chop or drop, and then what happened? It gave you a drop. Check all the boxes of what's going on, right? Gave you that, came back and retest, right? The BOS, right? Came back and test the BOS, gave you a retest with a supermarket sweep 'em, right? Gave you a nice accumulation, manipulation to then distribute back to the top side. And you got in there. If you got in there, you was good. Gave you 2 clean ass trades. And yes, zones, not no zone, bro. No trade zones. Yes, zones, no trade zones. So I can't make this more simpler than that, bro. It can't be more simple. I can't make it, bro. If I have to make it more simple than that, just give me the money. I'll trade it for you. We'll have a 99-1 split. 99% of the profits are mine. 1% is yours. That's not bad. It's really not bad. When I'm on my shit, I do 150, 200% in a month. When I'm on my shit, when I'm really like focused and trading. So if you're making, good, if I'm making good profits, you're making good profits. 1% could be big, bro. So did we get a third day of rise now? No. Why? Why we didn't get a third day of rise yesterday? We had a gap here. Remember, gaps are what? Resets. So they reset it here. They give us a gap. So put a drop. US30 still looks good. Why? It still looks like it's uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows. You're still trading between 9 zones, this high and this low. You're getting to the bottom of the zone, right? But I'm in the middle. No trade in the middle. That's a no-go zone again, right? Tell you guys all the time. Where are my zones? My zones are the place that I trade from. I trade off the lows. And I trade off the highs. Right? Price needs to get back in my yes zone. No trade zone. And here, back up here is yes. Very, very easy. Notice I'm just doing the same shit from last week or the week before last. There's nothing There's nothing different. There's nothing different. If it gets back into the zone, yes. What I'm gonna look for, lower time frame, lower high, to then give me my change of character, break and structure retest. Lower time frame, right? Meaning I want to see price come here. Give me all that again, right? That ugly guy, remember? I want to see that ugly guy, right? That's what I want to look for. If I don't get that, and price just start to go up and it doesn't give me that, and this is a form of an anchor, why? Because this is the first leg higher, lower than the second leg, right? I'm cool with that. I don't like this type of anchor. This type of anchor, could fake people out, right? If you don't understand them, right? Could fake people out if you don't understand it. I'm okay with that, right? Next place of interest, POI for me, will be up here. Will I take the short? No, I'm not take the short. What I need to wait for? Price to break, retest, and continue. Yes, that's a yes. No trade, yes trade. That simple. I'm going to leave the drawing again up here, right? To see, we'll come back to it and see what happens. I don't know. Maybe my Picassos are not good enough, but maybe they are. Who knows? Gold. So gold, we got a 2 days of drop. You know what the play for today is. There's no telling. Today, we're expecting a new low to hit, right? Overall market structure is just everywhere, right? There's no set direction, when it comes to this market structure, right? Because we're technically in a consolidation zone, right? But the 4-hour market structure is literally we're just trapped in between the high and the low right here, right? Lower time frame structure, we're looking like a downtrend on a 30-minute, right? We had all these higher highs, higher lows happening. We had to change the character to the downside. Let's just focus on this piece, right? Not everything else, just this piece. What we have a low. Right? And what priced it? Tap. Started that trend. Right? Started that trend. Faked. It's going up. Going down. Came back up. Down. And this is where we are right now. Right? So over here overall, we had a change of character. Had to break a structure, break a structure, break a structure, break a structure, right? Then here, what we had here, change of character, right? Well, not onto here. This is with the change character. Here we had to break a structure. We're looking for a break, or we're looking for a change up here, right? This is the play right now. We had a previous 2 days of drop. Any gaps? No gap. No gap. I think this one here. Price ended here, started here. I don't know if there's a gap on your MT4, but over here there's a small gap. It's a small skip, right? So, but that's the third day that I like. I like those type of third days, meaning the way the second day ended, I like the way it ended. That hook that it did gives me a lot of room to book a profit between there and there, because I'm expecting price to make a new low before it continues to push up, right? That's the expectation, right? But we have price gapped here on TradingView. Did it gap on MT4, MT5? Please, guys, can you confirm that? Did it gap on MT4, MT5? Please confirm. But you guys know, if it gaps, it throws out the trade. So today, if it gaps, that's a reset. Today could go up, could go down, or to consolidate, right? But overall structure, we see that the market is down, right? Overall, we don't have a change yet to the top side, but a change is coming because we're at the place of change. So if price breaks, could break and retest to continue, or price could tap that high and continue to go low, make that new low before it starts to push back up. So I hope that makes sense. So with that being said, let's put together our game plan, right? We have a counter 372. Step 1, new low. Step 2, anchor. Step 3, change of character. Step 4, break and structure retest. It's that simple. So we do have a gap. So the fact that we have a gap is just a reset. So today, we're looking for price to break above here and continue, or it could go down too. It could give us a low for today, right? So this is an advanced trader's trade. This is not a trade that, hey, it's just straight up rules. Why? Because they already broke the rule. The fact that they broke the rule and you understand that now we have a reset. So today could do anything it wants, right? Now, if it does anything it wants, it's okay. There's still other rules intact, right? Which is we have all these lower lows, lower highs. We have that. So in order for a change of character in order for an uptrend to start, what needs to happen? A change of character. Price needs to break above here, retest and continue. That's okay. We have an entry possibility, right? We have an entry possibility. If price tends to come down and start down, what needs to happen? I need them to break this low down here. Price to come down, break this low, and continue to go down. Am I trading? Am I taking shorts? No. I'm looking for long entries. So the only entry available for me today, which is, with a type of trading rule, is I needed to change characters on the 30-minute chart because we're on the 30-minute chart, right? Give me a change, give me a retest, then I have a POI, I have a point of interest. Once I see that it does that, what's my next thing I need to do? I need to hop down to my 5-minute chart. This whole structure here on a 5-minute chart, what it will look like. This is what that structure. This is the way that it went up. This is the way that it went down. This is the way that it went up. This is the way it went up. This is the way that it went down. This is the way that it will go back up, right? And this will be where the line is, right? So what I will need a change of character and a BOS retest on a 5-minute chart for me to participate, right? So all this is the same thing. It's just a gear within a gear within a gear within a gear, a structure within a structure within a structure within a structure. I'm looking for the same thing in all time frames, right? So I will need price to break above, give me that. Once it's moving, I am lowering to my 5-minute time frame, and this is what my 5-minute time frame will consist of. This is what I will be looking for in this section, which will be if price breaks, retest, continue. That's what this will look like. Message, right? That's gold. And last but not least, let's take a look at our friend BTC. BTC right now is stuck in the zone. Been stuck in the zone, right? Price is up, so we understand when it touches the zone, the bottom, that is all the places to start looking for entries to go long, right? We were waiting for the price to change over. Price changed over, came, tested it, boom, came again, boom, right? So this is what we need. We have a why this has a WD. This is a week of rise. So we had a previous 2 weeks of rise. So what does this week entails? It entails price to give us a higher high from last week. So we need price to make an anchor, right? Which potentially this could be one for the week, right? We'll have to wait to see what price does here. Potentially this could be an anchor. Why I say that? Because we have number one, number two. So it could move from here, start to move from here, right? That's one thing. Or price could break down, right? And use this as an anchor, right? So potentially it could go both ways. But we are getting new highs for the week. What I mean by new high for the week, we will have price higher than here for the week, right? Which is ADR high. That's the expectation for the week. So guys, that concludes today's class. We have a couple things to look at. A lot of gems drop in today's class. It's been a while for me. So pardon me if I spoke too much. Hope you guys took notes. Hope you guys had a notebook, took notes. If you didn't take notes, go back, rewatch it, and take notes. Because just because you hear it one time doesn't mean it got stuck into your head. Just means that you heard it one time. Doesn't mean you learned shit. Just means you heard it, right? So make sure you take notes. Make sure you review your notes all the time. Make sure you study your notes until those words that are not on that piece of paper are not embedded in your brain and tattooed inside your brain. You haven't learned anything, boss. You just heard it, right? So make sure you do your due diligence to make sure you get the most out of it. Don't forget to join the Discord. Mr. Jumper has placed it 5-6 times on the chat is also in the description. And I see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. Peace out.